harboring the coach, which is exactly what he's in trouble
eventually,
for.
that's what's going to happen. This will turn into a sports version of Survivor.
Right. Who gets voted out? Who gets voted in?
Exactly. See, now that's not where I wanted the conversation to go today. You know where I wanted the conversation to go today is a friend of mine posted a picture on the FB of a non-dairy ice cream. Did you see that?
My sentiments exactly.
How can you have a non-dairy ice cream? And so it got me interested in the. I guess there's. See, I didn't realize all of the distinctions. You know, when I think of somebody that doesn't eat meat, I just go, oh, they're vegetarian. But there are levels. Yeah. There's different versions of this, and you can go from a vegetarian, which might be, you know, the kind of the middle of the road. I just don't eat meat, all the way to vegans that vegetarians who avoid all animal and animal-derived products. So cream that goes into ice cream.
Cheese.
We love, and cheese. They don't eat that because it comes from a cow.
They don't eat broth.
Chicken
broth, beef broth, nothing like that. You know, and you know who I'm most interested in as far as like the tiers of eaters is the ones who get the ones who are like
tiers as
tiers
in,
of
as
eaters.
levels,
tiers
not
of eaters.
like the tiers of my.
I can't eat.
Can I get you? Would you like a drink? Yes, the tears of my
It's
enemies.
the pescatarians. They're like, oh, I don't eat meat. I just eat seafood.
Wait, right.
The pescatarians. Because you can eat meat, only seafood meat.
So there's ovo vegetarians, the vegetarians who avoid all animal products except eggs. Right?
You know, free-range chicken eggs should be fine. Those chickens are fine. No one's dying. No chickens are dying. They're free-range.
Lacto-vegetarians.
They're going to lay them anyway.
Vegetarians who avoid animal flesh and eggs but do consume dairy products.
So milk and cheeses are okay.
So you just got
ice cream.
Can you decide? Yeah. So they would go ahead and have the regular ice cream, and then there's lacto-ovo vegetarians who avoid all animal flesh but do consume dairy and egg products. So you've got this whole spectrum, and then of course there's the flexitarians, which are you know, it's like I want to say it's like bisexuals. You just make a choice, whatever. Part-time vegetarians are often referred to as flexitarians. So just part-time.
That's what the flex, right?
Yeah. So normally I'm an avowed vegetarian. Hey, but did you check out the food in the back over at Venue? Lumpia with pork in there and the sauce. I need that tonight. So I'm going to go off my vegetarian, otherwise strict vegetarian diet.
Personally, I'm a member of PETA.
I was
people eating tasty
animals.
I was told by a vegan one time, not your mom, not your milk.
What?
Yeah, they
they're trying to
not your mom, not your milk.
Yeah, we're not supposed to be drinking cow's milk as humans.
Denise says, no, it's what's her name? Horn. Some vegans don't even eat honey.
That's true.
I don't know. Interesting stuff. Anyway, but play around with that. I guess what I was trying to get to was some kind of consensus among us guys here. Is are vegan chicks crazy?
Yeah.
Okay. That's what I was looking for.
And I say that lovingly because my mom recently went over to
put vegan as a qualifier there.
My mom recently went vegan in her diet. A plant-based diet, so I don't mind saying that.
Okay, speaking of crazy, have you seen the police report on the girl that scratched up her boyfriend's car?
No.
Okay, so take that over to Star 101 and see if you can have some fun with it. Yes, she's on Facebook.
I think I know her.
Don't loan her your car. 8:33 in the morning. She's a crazy vegan chick. I don't know. It's 8:33 in the morning, and that's plenty of sports and stuff with my very close, very dear personal friend Blake Watson. He does the morning show on Star 101. He's got to get back to it. We've got to get back to headlines and traffic with Kevin Kerrigan next.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on the Point. Half a day. I'm Rita Tidigli of Manila, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voices of our community and sharing thoughts about issues that affect all of us. It all boils down to our people and our land. Ingatan ang iyong tahanan. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
I think you're right, Nick. That's the way it works. Nick says, I'm a vegetarian. The cow eats the grass. I eat the cow. Therefore, it's this. I'm with you. What do they call that in mathematics? Is transitivity? Just what was it? A half hour ago, I was bragging about Facebook Live, and apparently the Facebook connection keeps dropping. It's not us. I'm sending a signal. I'm sending good signals out of the building, but Facebook, for whatever reason, keeps wanting to restart. So I just keep an eye on the numbers. When the numbers go back to zero, I click the restart, and then everybody comes back on. But you might need to. If you're going to be in for the long haul and all morning listening, then you might need to watch out for additional notices from me on Facebook that the stream is live.
Yeah, fact is, with all the rain falling, there could be some water issues with phone lines, and that's going to disrupt the
phone line to Facebook. Like I said, the other stream is working, so I don't know what the heck is going on. It's 8:35 in the morning, and you're listening to The Point radio station, and time for headlines from the Guam Daily Post, brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. Here's Kevin Kerrigan.
Half a day and good morning, Guam. And the headlines from the Daily Post this morning: a building in Agana is being offered as bail in an effort to get court approval for the release of double murder suspect Joseph Sagdal. The 24-year-old college student and shooting instructor remains in jail, unable to post the $500,000 cash bail imposed on him. At a hearing in Superior Court yesterday, Sagdal's attorney David Lujan offered the building as bail for his release. The single-story property is located next to the DNA building in Agana. Lujan said he owns 30% of that building. Sagdal is accused of gunning down two men in Harmon last year after an altercation that began when he was hit in the face by an object fired from a slingshot. Assistant Attorney General Jeremy Kemper objected, contending that Guam law does not allow corporations to post bond, adding that the purpose of the DNA Corporation is to hold income-producing properties and not act as a bail bond. Lujan responded that if DNA wants to step forward and volunteer to use its properties to help Mr. Sagdal, that's DNA's business. Judge Maria Senzon said the court will be issuing a written decision on the motion at a later time. 19-year-old Angelica Harton has been arrested on allegations that she damaged her ex-boyfriend's car. According to the magistrate's complaint, the boyfriend went to get his car back from Harton a few days after breaking up with her, but the car wouldn't start. Then he noticed several scratches on the car and damage to all of the seats inside. In addition, several wires had been cut in the engine, and water was found in all four of the cylinders. Police interviewed a witness who said he was present when Harton damaged the car. He told police that Harton said, "No one saw me put the water in the engine or scratch the car, so you can't prove it." Harton has been charged with one count of felony criminal mischief. 33-year-old Arluk Nagawan has been arrested on allegations that he was driving without a license in a car that had someone else's license plate on it. The magistrate's complaint states that when police stopped his car and advised him that the license plate was from a different vehicle, Nagawan said, "I know. My cousin borrowed the car last month, and when he returned it, it had different plates on it." Nagawan is now facing a felony count of using the wrong vehicle identification and driving without a driver's license. For these stories and more, log on to postguam.com or pick up a copy of today's Guam Daily Post.
iConnect time in the studio is 8:37, and we'll get to that in a second. But first, the preceding newscast brought to you by Furniture Kathy Style. Now, iConnect time in the studio is 8:37. Swing by iConnect and ask them about their very, very practical plans that they have. They don't want you to pay any more than you need to for things like push-to-talk and mobile plans, even internet. iConnect is the practical choice.
Howdy, folks. Just when you thought our famous KFC Crispy Strips couldn't get any better, introducing the new KFC Fold-Its. KFC Crispy Strips on a soft flatbread sandwich with lettuce and tomatoes. And all for $5 with fries. $5? Woo! Yes, $5 Fold-Its, and it comes with your favorite KFC fries. KFC Fold-Its for limited time only. KFC, it's finger-licking good.
Lynn or Vince Borja Polino are saying that you did a great job on the forecast on the weather this morning on the point, because they say it is raining cats and dogs outside. We've been looking at the weather radar all morning long and watching this stuff come in, and it's going to keep doing it. It'll rain, and then it'll get quiet, and then it's going to rain again. I think we're going to see that kind of pattern repeating all day long.
Absolutely.
It just looks like that today. All right, portions of the program, even that little part where we're patting ourselves on the back, that's brought to you by APL. American President Lines is shipping the future.
Kohler Power Systems are available for rent from Morico Equipment in Tamuning. 50 to 500 kilowatt Kohler diesel generators on trailers or on the ground. Call Roland at Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com. Kohler power systems are made for Guam conditions. Aluminum, weatherproof, and soundproof enclosures for Guam's tropical climate. Kohler generators can run all day with the correct size fuel tank. Call Morico now, 649-1946, or click MoricoEquipment.com.
Man, I know why traffic is slow. I'm looking at northbound traffic, Route 8, right over by Benson, and I know why the traffic is beginning to build up through there. You know what it is? Is they got that Island Girl coffee shop, and it's now one lane. Because they're going to build a Payless in that location, so the construction has already begun. They put up this massive wall, so there's all kinds of people I think that are going slow through there, trying to figure out how to get into the lane that they need to get into, so they can go to Island Grove. That's what I think. I could be wrong. Could be messed up on the whole thing. We're also watching traffic slow down, leaving the leaving the Guam International Airport and trying to make your way towards Marine Corps Drive on 10A. It'll be slow moving through that intersection, but even after you get past that, a little bit slower after Home Depot until you get to Marine Corps Drive. Shouldn't be a problem once you get there. Traffic slow up Tumon, up Santos Hill on the way to Marine Corps Drive. And then if you're headed northbound, need to get to Guam Regional Medical City or just need to get past the intersection to Route 3. Might take you a little bit. I got traffic slowing down in that area. It's odd, as I say, northbound traffic. But then this is an odd day today, right? We got wind coming out of the west, and we got northbound traffic that's actually moving slower than southbound traffic. I got traffic coming out of Ordot and into Sinahanya slowing down. I got traffic from Adelup towards Agana, the capital city, beginning to slow down as well. There was a big slowdown in front of the Navy base, but that has since dissipated. Don't see any problems in front of Navy Hospital. So it's just, wait a second. There is still something going on up in Jigo. Over by the McDonald's, you know how we get that southbound traffic through there? Just past the school into the McDonald's area, I've got a line of traffic. I'm not sure what it is turning into Tova Street or. It's hard to say. Hard to say it. If you were in front of that, if you were just getting past that, let us know. 888-8255. Let us know what the problem is. If there's an accident, this is what I want you to do. Take a picture of it. Shoot a video. 988-5874. That is our WhatsApp feed here. It's 988-5874. So if you could do me a favor, I would really appreciate that. Citizen journalists, the important thing is if you take a picture, if you're shooting a video, turn your camera sideways. Turn your camera into its horizontal polarization, and that way the picture will be better. No, it will. The camera works better when it's the lens, everything, all the electronics. They go, we're in horizontal mode. I need to shoot better. Complete, total fabrication, in fact. But I enjoyed saying it. It's 8:42. Be right back.
Sizzling hot, that's what our special summer loan is, with rates as low as 4% and amounts up to $50,000. You can use your money for whatever you want, like back to school expenses, tuition, travel, or paying down expensive credit cards. A sizzling hot special summer loan with great rates as low as 4% at Bank Pacific today.
Bank Pacific, where others put branches, we place roots.
Equal credit opportunity lender. Conditions apply. As low as 4% APR.
Time, 8:43 in the morning. My name is Ray, and Neats was asking the other day. Neats is a big friend of ours on the Facebook feed, and she was asking the other day about looking for a job. She wanted to get herself some kind of, I don't know. She works in the government right now. But she was looking for something, maybe part-time. Didn't even want to make a lot of money on it, just like minimum wage. I think just something else to do that puts money in her pocket. And so she was asking about that. And another quick note here from a listener, Ismael Veliz down south. He says, it is storming like you wouldn't believe in Telefofo right now. God's country, Magat. Biba San Miguel. But it is storming in Telefofo, so be careful on the road. And a lot of beauty queens that are in the Facebook Live this morning. I'm not going to mention any names. Just suffice it to say, if you're one of the ladies on the Facebook feed here this morning, you should be in the Miss Universe pageant. I'm just going to say that right now, unabashedly and unashamed. So Neat's looking for a job. A couple of jobs that I saw this morning in the PDN classified section. Just graduated from high school and looking for a career. Shop trainee for aluminum and glass products. You need to have a high school graduation, and maybe a little bit of experience with electrical or hand tools is going to be in help. Is good, and in decent physical shape is what they're asking about as well for this job. And Guam driver's license is going to be required, so there might be some driving going on, or just to know that you have access to some kind of wheels. And then there's this one. I put this along the same lines as one of these days when all I have to do is come in, do a 4-hour morning show, and split. And they say, well, what would you do with the rest of your day, Ray? And the answer is anything I want is what I'm going to do with the rest of the day. In at 6, out at 10, and then let's go someplace and do something else. And I've been gravitating in this little pocket fantasy that I have of maybe going and something to do with the water. Right? Maybe one of the Dolphin Watch cruises, be one of those guys, because they got wicked tans. The guys that run the Dolphin Watch cruise, they got wicked tans. Or like a clubmate at PIC. I'd be the oldest clubmate at PIC. But dude, I'm in shape, right? So I could do it. I could totally pull off that job.
Hair's too short.
Yep.
Gotta grow hair.
A what?
Gotta grow hair. Come on, man, you can do it.
I can't grow hair.
You can.
No.
I did.
It's because Ashley Haircut gives me a haircut once a month.
Well, you just gotta stop going.
What? But I like going to see Ashley. She's a good haircut lady.
Well, just go and have her wash it.
By the way, it's Ashley over at Rosie Rouge, for those of you that wonder who takes care of the hair on this head. Anyway, so I don't know. I like going to see her, and it's always fun. So I don't know about, can I just be a clubmate with short hair?
I think you can.
Like the guy in Game of Thrones, you know, the one that's in the friend zone all the time?
Yeah, that guy.
That guy, yeah. The one that had that weird disease. The weird skin thing going on. Anyway, so he's got short hair, and you know he's famous in the show. So it's that like Dolphin Watch guy on a boat, or hanging out over at PIC, or this one here, Aqua Walk is looking for a diver. Must be PADI certified. I am PADI Advanced certified from 1985. Yeah. So I probably need to get recerted.
Probably, but I don't think that would be a problem for you.
The last time I checked, I don't think I need to be recerted. All I got to do is find the record that I was actually PADI certified advanced, and I think I've got a card that says so from back in the old days. I might need a refresher.
Yeah, but if it's advanced, hello.
Yeah.
That means you were better than just the ordinary PADI certified diver.
I was willing
before.
to pay. I was willing to pay another $50.
Wow.
For the class, but that was a good time. But so this one, Aqua Walk diver must be PADI certified. So call the Scuba Co 649-3369, and I don't know what they're paying. But I will say 2 words: Korean hot pants. Or is that 3 words? Is hot pants 1 word or 2? And then, while I was looking for these job opportunities, friends. And it goes along the lines, Pretty Ashley is on the feed right now, so I might as well do this. It goes along the lines with something that Dennis Rodriguez has been talking about in his campaign platform, right? Take an item that you would normally buy in a grocery store and start growing it yourself, right? And like Mana, like my sister, I don't think she's bought, what is it? Is it cabbage, lettuce? There's a couple of things that she hasn't bought a new one of because she takes the bottom of the old one and sticks it in a cup and it starts growing new leaves. And it might be green onions, it might be cabbage, it might be lettuce. I don't know what it is, but that's how she does it. And so in this way, it's less that she has to buy. And so Dennis Rodriguez is talking about, this is what you do, is you do exactly that. Grow something that you would normally, string beans that you'd normally buy at the store, well, grow your own string beans. You like eggplants, grow your own eggplants. I like Korean pear apples. All right, that's going to be tricky, but you know where I'm headed. So a couple of weeks ago, pineapple, right? Pineapple is one of those things. You save the top of it, and you stick that in some dirt later on, and pretty soon, well, not pretty soon, but eventually you'll get a pineapple that you can eat. Little known fact. And if you save the top of that one, by and by, you will have another one. So that's the fun of being able to do all of this stuff. And a couple of weeks ago, we were having a conversation about eggs and how expensive a dozen eggs seems to be getting. And it's not just Guam. What? Velez. What did I say it was? Ismael Velez? Didn't it? Velez. Gutierrez. Rodriguez. Velez is the pronunciation. Sorry. Apparently, I've been butchering the name for a while. I should change it to something that's easier for me to pronounce. So it's talking about eggs. And it's not just us. It's not, Jones Act. We're far away from the chicken kind of thing. It's all eggs seem to be getting expensive. And so I have found in the classifieds an ad for brown egg-laying chickens for sale. Brown egg-laying chickens for sale. So somebody on the Facebook Live is about to jump in and tell me whether or not the fact that they lay brown eggs versus white eggs that generally come in the things that I've the cartons that I've been buying over at the store for all of my life. Somebody will tell me that the brown eggs are better for you. They got more vitamins and it makes you see better and all of that. I don't know. I don't know whether that's true or not. Somebody, like I said, will say. But there is in the PDN under the classifieds, somebody is selling brown egg-laying chickens for sale. So you would be able to, I suppose, have these things free range around your house, and the chickens will make eggs, and you'll be able to take the eggs and eat them as your breakfast or whatever if you're not totally vegan.
Is there any significant advantage to a brown egg as opposed to a white one?
So while you were messing around on the phone, that was exactly the question that I was asking on Facebook Live.
Oh, okay,
I'm waiting for somebody to chime in and tell me that a brown chicken egg is the one that's going to make you jump faster and run fast, jump higher and run faster and help you win the election.
Oh, well, evidently there's a high demand for brown eggs because they were on a conference call when I called earlier.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and I tried calling back, but no answer. But we'll try to get a hold of them.
Yeah, because I want to talk to these guys about it. So what is that? White AGFA are colonized. White eggs are colonized eggs. There's something wrong with you, Booney Dog. There's something wrong with the way you think, or maybe it's right. Maybe I am wrong. I don't know, but there it is. Like I said, if somebody would chime in on that. So there is the thing. So we'll see what we can find out. Hey, were we able to find Ken Williams either?
I put the call out, but no. He's a busy guy.
Yeah, I know. He says he's going to go testify on something. It was one of the chats that I had to restart, but he said he was going to go testify on what may be happening with some of these food establishments. Now, a couple of days ago, there was a story that basically said that snakes are bad because snakes are eating all of the birds. And that's bad because there's not enough birds out there. Number one, we're not scattering enough seeds out in the forest, A. B, it means that they're not eating all of the bugs. And that's why there seems to have been a larger proliferation, a spread, if you will, an explosion in the bug population. And so Ken probably doesn't have a problem with that because his line of work is the varmint extermination business, i.e. bugs. But now we're starting to hear more and more about restaurants and complaints of some bug infestation. And what is it, 198 Dim Sum? Phil Schrage this morning said that they're permanently closed. Wasn't that an infestation issue, Ken?
Yeah, I didn't know about that. I heard about King's misfortune the other day in Denado, and it's unfortunate. I think it just goes back to basics and cleanliness standards. I have a few restaurants I take care of, and I tell these folks, look, I can put down 100 gallons of poison. The EPA might not like that.
Yeah, well, I need you to do me a favor, Ken, if you can. The Bluetooth connection is not good. I know you're driving. I can't hear you very well, but if I could get you out, maybe it's the Bluetooth, maybe it's the rain, but it's not a great connection. So I'm going to ask if you can take this to directly to the phone if possible.
Yeah, let me pull over up here, and then I'll switch over.
Okay. Huh. All right, and the legislature is in session right now, and the word that I'm getting on the WhatsApp is there's no Department of Administration or Rev and Tax because of a tax conference that's going to be going on. So does that mean that they're going to be flying blind? Do they need to stop and wait until this tax conference has concluded before they bring these guys back in? Because that's vital. The information that they're going to be talking about changes to the tax structure for real property in this town is an amendment that they have pushed forward over at the legislature. But if they don't have anybody from DOA or DRT to bounce that back against, that could slow the conversation big time over at the legislature. Ken, are you back?
Yeah, I'm off the Bluetooth.
Oh, yeah, much better. That's solid connections. Anyway, what I'm beginning to hear about Kings in the Harmon location, and this is interesting because they still got an A rating in the inspection. They still got an A rating in the inspection, but because there were roaches found, that caused them to close down. And I'm wondering if it's possible that that the roaches that they found there might have been placed there by a disgruntled former or somebody that is not former but is disgruntled.
I guess anything is possible. I know I've talked to a few of these health inspectors, and that's what this meeting we're going to today is about. I'm not really testifying. We're just having an open forum and a think tank, I think is what it is. There'll probably be a couple of pest control guys and a couple of these inspectors from Health and Human Services. But, you know, the guys I've talked to, the folks that I've talked to said that when they're in these restaurants looking around, bugs are just a little part of it. Bugs and the pest control part of the equation is just a small part. There's food handling problems. There's you know, whether you're thawing meats or storing foods, things like that. And what they're looking for is cleanliness. I don't care how clean your house is and how clean your restaurant is. You're going to get a bug once in a while. Are you policing it? Are you cleaning up the feces? Are you cleaning up the egg sacs? Are you picking up the dead bugs routinely? It's about cleaning. And that's where these folks get into trouble, I think.
To be sure, and you're right. Issues like and this is something that has gotten people in trouble, and in a significant number of restaurants that have been shut down or threatened to be shut down because they've got food in a refrigerator section, and it is possible or very difficult in this town to keep the food in an open refrigerator section or a refrigerator section that's getting a lot of work. You know, the doors opening and closing a lot. It's hard to keep that at the minimum acceptable temperature as a result of the opening and closing. I mean, the thermostat, the paper, the gizmos only go down so far, and you can set it at 35. But if the door to that refrigerator is opening all the time because we got somebody leaning into getting a sandwich or getting a cupcake or something like that, we're not going to be able to maintain that temperature in the rig. So that's something that a lot of these businesses have got to get to try to get over. What you're saying is the majority of the violations may be more like that as opposed to, hey, we got a bug, I saw a cockroach, or there's ants back there, or something like that.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. These folks that do the inspecting, you know, they're not silly, and they're realistic, and they understand we live in the tropics. They understand that, you know, there's roaches in the sewer systems, and that there's roaches flying around the jungle. Mm-hmm. A lot of these kitchens, you know, especially in some of these smaller venues, they're tiny. And it gets hot in there, and the folks want to open the door and get some ventilation. But when you open the door, you're inviting all your friends in from the outside.
Yeah.
And you know, it's kind of a catch-22, you know. And I feel bad for these guys because I know most of these restaurant owners are trying to do the right thing, and most of them, you know, like guys like me, we go in and we give them advice about more than just. We just don't go in and spray chemical and leave. We try to give them advice about fixing holes in the wall. Fixing door seals, things like that. But you know, sometimes you rely on your landlord to fix those things for you, and they're not so proactive. So it's kind of some of these guys are in a bad situation.
Yeah.
They're not filthy rich to be able to fix all these big material problems.
Well, margins are tight for everybody around these days, yourself included. Are you busy? Or they're going back to the original the topic that I brought up about this, you know, snakes eat the birds, birds eat the insects. If there's not enough birds to eat the insects, are we seeing population explosions that are rather unexpected for certain kind of varmints? Are you getting a lot of calls and seeing more bugs as that might be attributable to fewer birds?
Yeah, well, to answer your first part of the question, I could work 14 hours a day, 7 days a week. I've went from doing this myself, and I've got 3 full-time guys working with me.
Wow.
And a part-timer. So, yeah, my wife can't keep up with the paperwork. She's a pretty busy girl. But what was the other part of your question?
It was about, are you seeing more of a certain kind of bug that would normally get eaten by birds?
Well, I'll tell you what I've seen. I've been here 6 years now, and I was listening to Dr. Miller the other day talk about the bird populations and what's going on.
Yep.
I see more birds now than I've ever seen in the past. But that being said, I'm not seeing native birds. I'm seeing sparrows, finches, doves, and pigeons.
Yeah, the usual.
I'm seeing the spider. My personal observation is the spider population is dropping a little bit, but that's just from the homes that I go to and the areas that I treat.
Yeah, well, you sent me a picture of a huntsman spider the other day, and those things will put the fear right into me. That's the last thing I need crawling around the house. And then Sister Shelley had a problem with centipedes, so you might want to ring her up when you get a chance. 9 o'clock in the morning. Ken, always a pleasure. I'll see you pretty soon.
Okay, thanks.
Here's the Fox News.
I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The White House walking back President Trump's tweet about firing special counsel Robert Mueller.
Hours after the president tweeted, Attorney General Jeff Sessions should stop this rigged witch hunt right now before it continues to stain our country any further. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders clarified what the president meant.
We certainly think it should be completed. We'd like it to be completed sooner rather than later. It's gone on for an extensive amount of time. They've still come up with nothing in regards to the president.
South Dakota Republican Senator John Thune taking issue with the president, saying the Mueller investigation needs to move forward. They ought to let them complete their work.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. Turkey says it will retaliate against the U.S. after President Trump announced today sanctions against 2 Turkish foreign ministers. The sanctions imposed over American pastor Andrew Brunson, who's detained on espionage and terror-related charges in Turkey. Congress has approved a defense bill which includes raises for service members.
The measure, which already won House approval, stripped a provision about Chinese telecom company ZTE that would have prevented sanctions from being waived. The bill also does not allocate any money for a Space Force, a new military branch President Trump has proposed.
Fox's Jared Halpern on Capitol Hill. President Trump's trade war continues as he threatens to raise tariffs against Chinese goods from 10 to 25%.
There's a growing belief, I'm told, even among dubs in the president's team, that China is a bad actor on trade and needs to be handled as such. Sources say with the trade imbalance as it is now, China cannot fight a tit-for-tat trade war for very long, that it will quickly run out of bullets.
Fox's John Roberts. Puerto Rico hurricane evacuees can stay in mainland hotels until the end of August. A federal judge today granting more time for those affected by last year's hurricanes. Fox News, fair and balanced.
On-site diesel delivery by Morico Equipment. Morico Equipment offers an on-site diesel delivery service right to your door. Diesel is delivered at pump prices. Don't wait for a typhoon to hit. Call Morico at 649-1966 right now. Kohler Power Systems are quiet, reliable, and dependable. With regular service and support from our team, they stay that way. Kohler generator systems are sold and serviced on Guam by Morico Equipment. Yes. Call now 649-1946 or click moricoequipment.com.
Say hello to high-speed data on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. We've just upped your prepaid data, so make your big plans bigger with 1 gigabyte of data per day. Bigger prepaid data for your big plans that just keep getting better. Enjoy high-speed data and unlimited local talk and text on the widest 4G LTE network in the Marianas. Text LTE to 3282, select a plan, and enjoy 1 gigabyte of data per day. Docomo Pacific, better together. Some conditions apply.
The painstaking process of identifying the remains of what is believed to be American service members who died in North Korea will soon get underway in Hawaii.
55 boxes of what's believed to be the remains of soldiers killed during the Korean War are on their way to Hawaii after a ceremony in South Korea. Commander of U.S. forces on the Korean Peninsula, Vincent Brooks.
This is a solemn reminder that our work is not complete.
The boxes are covered in UN flags. Defense Secretary Jim Mattis has pointed out 17 nations fought in the Korean War under UN command. It could take months or years to positively identify the remains. In Washington, Rachel Sutherland, Fox News.
The Federal Reserve today left its benchmark interest rate unchanged, but signaled future rate hikes in the coming months. The Fed has already raised the rate twice this year and projected up to 4 rate hikes before the end of December. The mother of a girl believed to have run away from her Florida home 5 years ago gets a letter.
Pam Massimiani, who lives in Southport, Florida, near Panama City, last saw her daughter Emily in April of 2013. Before the then 14-year-old vanished, she left only a note to her mother saying she was running away. To this day, Massimiani believes that, and just last week received a new letter. The daughter would be 19 now. Massimiani believes the letter to be authentic, though police are not quick to confirm that. Since Emily went missing, investigators have thought she was following advice to runaways found on websites, keeping her cell phone turned off and not using social media. In Miami, Eben Brown, Fox News.
Death Valley, California set the world record for hottest July for the second straight year. The National Weather Service reporting the month's average temperature at Furnace Creek was 108.1 degrees. That tops last year's record of 107.4 degrees. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News Radio.
I'm a working mom and could really use more hours in my day. Thankfully, my non-electric Kinetico water treatment system has simplified my life. It's easier to clean my home with Kinetico conditioned water. No more scrubbing tubs or wiping water spots. Cleaners work better and last longer. And all the Kinetico drinking water we want is right here. No more lugging home bottled water. All this, and I'm saving money too, thanks to Kinetico.
American Water Tech. Smarter water. Better water. Call American Water Tech at 649-2301 or email info@AmericanWaterTech.com. Portions of the program brought to you by my friends over at APL. That's American President Line, shipping the future.
Apply today for First Hawaiian Bank's United Mileage Plus credit card. And upon approval, you will be entered to win 2 round-trip business class tickets on United. You'll also earn up to 30,000 bonus miles, 5,000 upon opening your new account, and 25,000 after spending $1,500 within 3 months. And you'll get 2 times the mileage on United ticket purchases. Apply by August 31, 2018. Stop by any branch or visit us online at FHB.com. Terms and conditions apply. Sweepstakes starts on July 1, 2018 and ends on August 31, 2018. Open to legal residents of Guam and the Commonwealth of the Northern Mariana Islands aged 18 years or older. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited. Visit www.fhb.com/United Sweepstakes for official rules and complete details. Member FDIC.
The Ray Gibson Show. Call now. 888-TALK. That's 888-8255.
Well, this is interesting stuff I'm playing around with. All right, so I was talking about eggs. Because I was talking about eggs, that's why. And there's a guy, not cow eggs, there's chicken eggs. What's the matter with you?
My bad, wrong animal.
So now these guys are going to be busy all day because I've mentioned their business on the radio. They're selling brown egg-laying chickens. They're brown. So, Lady D, this is the part where I need you to call in. 888-8255, 888-8255. There's a listener, and she knows everything there is to know about chickens.
Yeah, because I need to know the difference. You know,
this is probably her. Denise, is that you, Lady D? Hello?
Hey, this is Angit.
Hey, nice to talk to you. Okay, well, I'll get back to the conversation about eggs in a second. But can you tell me whether, Angel, can you tell me whether the brown eggs are any better for you than white eggs?
They're the same egg to me.
It's all the same, right? Right. Okay, because I got a guy who says the white ones are they're the colonizer eggs.
Ouch.
Ouch. Okay. So Mayor's Council been busy. Have you decided, first of all, where you're having your Christmas party?
I believe that it's Leo Resort.
At where, Leo?
Leo Palace.
Nice. Okay, so the question will rise from among the listeners in these difficult economic times. Should the Mayor's Council, should the mayors be spending any money on Christmas parties or like that? So maybe you could hold off on.
Well, it's all out of our own pockets.
Oh, out of your own pockets.
Yes.
Okay, so all the different mayors are going to be pitching in on their own.
No government budget. It's out of our own pocket.
Okay. So it's potluck like that.
Yeah.
Okay, so the mayors are going to be paying for the room.
You come. Don't buy a ticket. Don't come.
Okay, I got you. All right, I understand. I want to make sure that that was very clear. And then the other thing that I thought was interesting, based on the agenda that you guys had for your meeting yesterday, is you're doing a census or a survey of COFA migrants?
No, we are not. This is a program, actually, University of Guam, Peter Barcinas.
Oh.
And they have some of the enumerators here that are here to validate what has already been counted. And so they have them going throughout the villages to make sure that if there is that house that you say was on Beavick Street or on Sablon Street or on, Gibson Street, that those houses are there and they were actually counted. And it's just not some enumerator marking things down on their own.
Right, right. Or yeah, like we saw with some of these petitions for what's his name to run for office. Yeah,
validation survey.
So they're validating the information that they already have. So this is not new information that they're asking for. They just want to be able to go into certain selected places, and if you said that this is your place, then that's where you live. Now, what happens in the case of somebody that moves? I mean, I know of several migrant families that may be able to find an apartment and they'll move out or away from the family that they're already with.
Going to ask either the landlord or whoever's still there, they know where they went.
Okay. All right. So you otherwise you go chase them down. But at some point, somebody used that as an address. Now, the advice that I'd give for anybody that is a migrant is to when they ask you your address, say Calvo Compound.
And the reason why I brought it up to the
Paris Acres.
Yeah. Maragana Heights.
Maragana Heights. Yeah, go ahead. Feel free. Use those. Telo Verde. That's it. That's what I want to hear. How many people live in? 30 people live in a house in Telo Verde. That's what we're up to. Anyway, so that's just something that you guys need to know about as mayors.
Yeah, because the mayors are actually people that know where they're at. So we also want to make sure that the people that are there are actually there, and because what happens is they're always asking for the benefits, and usually they're the first ones to come out when the storm heads here, or they're the first to start calling, hey, I need shelter, I need this, I need so. We just want to make sure, and we thank University of Guam for doing this program to make sure that the people that say they are there are there.
Okay, noted. Now, the legislature going through the budget right now, and I'm wondering how this is going to impact the mayors. What is your sense? They're going to be reaching deep into the budget that would normally be given to the mayors?
Well, they're reaching into everybody's budget, and so far it looks like everybody's going to be cut by at least 23%. So I just told the mayors yesterday, we got to tighten our belts, and well, there's things that are going to be affected, and like utilities. Maybe we're going to shift instead of providing night games and gyms at night. We have to just operate during the day. Cut utility costs. We got to think about all the weekend stuff we do, delivering chairs and canopies to constituents, or doing funeral escorts. I mean, we can't have people doing that anymore if the funds are not there to continue to pay them the extra amount. Maintenance of vehicles, maintenance of facilities like the senior centers. Those aren't in the budget anymore.
Well, is there a call then from among the mayors to say, there are many things that we do as mayors that are not codified. It's not as though there is a list of things that are mayor responsibilities in law.
Mayor Altman at one time counted that, and there's about 45 different mandates.
Yeah. But how many of them are actually codified? Are there actually things that are required of the mayors because the legislature said so and the governor agreed at some point?
Yeah.
I mean, the escorts for funerals, as an example.
Right.
Or we're going to drop off some cascao for the yard so that we can have the rosaries at night. Nice things for the mayors to do, but not necessarily provided for in law or otherwise budgeted.
Right, that's correct.
Yeah. So if they're not provided in law or otherwise budgeted, those are some of the things that the mayors should have no problem not doing, right?
Right, but then you get the very angry constituents.
They're going to be very angry constituents because it's something that people have come to expect from the mayors.
That's correct.
I got you. All right. Well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on what's going on over at the legislature.
Yeah, we're keeping an eye on it too, and once that budget is settled and final, we'll see what we get.
Gotcha. Angel, it's always fun seeing you. I saw you last night over at Tina's thing, but
I saw you last night.
I didn't. There was some girls near your table, and I didn't want them to think I was stalking them. Right?
Okay.
All right, bro. I'll talk to you pretty soon.
Stay dry.
I'm already having a good day. See, it's the one in the boots. That's the one I'm talking about. It's at 9:13 in the morning. Ray Gibson Show until it's not going to be anymore. And it's got a note from somebody on Facebook Live. Says, I have a hard time getting through on 8255. 888-8255. 888-8255 is the number. So make sure you got the 888 right, and we'll get you in and on the air as quick as possible. Lady D is joining me now. Lady is my chicken expert. How you doing, Denise?
Oh, I'm doing just fine.
I'm talking
on the soggy side.
Yeah, it's like that today, and Mike says it's going to be like that for a little bit until we get out from. But hey, listen, it's raining, it's cool.
Complaining.
It's raining, it's cool, and that means that the air conditioner isn't working hard.
Oh, you bet.
So
and my cucumbers and okra are loving it.
They're perfect, right?
Oh yeah, my oregano and cilantro and that are growing too, and I got squash growing.
That's good. See, now you're exactly the kind of person Dennis Rodriguez would love, because you're growing your own stuff, and that means that's less that we have to import.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I send the eggs for my father-in-law. You know, the Monunco. He gets the eggs, although they're a little bit on the hard side because they're, the shell's a little bit hard because the bird is not meant for egg laying. And I'm not chasing that gaggle of chickens that's all over the neighborhood.
To go find out where they're laying their softer eggs.
Continuous egg laying supply, you got to coop the dumb birds and feed them clean food, or you're going to wind up with disease.
Well, there's that. So there's a couple of things on the eggs that I wanted to talk to you about, because you're like an expert. There's a guy in the newspaper this morning selling brown egg laying chickens, and we've been trying to get him on the phone, but now that I've talked about it on the air, they're busy. So brown egg laying chickens. Is there any advantage to eating brown eggs versus eating the white eggs?
Not that I know of, except that you're getting a fresh supply, and fresher is better.
Yeah, and
you're controlling what the bird eats, so you're not, chickens are garbage guts. They'll eat anything. You throw something out on the road, and they all dive on it like kamikazes.
Yeah.
But,
so if you're able to control a little bit more their diet, and it will be rich in antioxidants and vitamin D and all of that stuff, because they're eating grass and grass seed and things that are more organic.
My mom liked her dinosaur chickens. There's this breed of chickens that has double yolk eggs.
Double yolk eggs, okay.
Yeah. I didn't believe it till I saw it too, but these chickens actually lay double yolk in the egg.
Oh, fascinating! Which 2 for the price of 1, right? The question though is there bleaching? A friend of mine said that white eggs were really brown eggs, and then they got bleached. Anything to that?
Nah, not that I've ever known.
Now, my understanding, and I
had this for like 30 some odd years.
I don't know.
It's in the species of the chicken, the variety of chicken. Like some chickens lay those really humongous eggs, and then some lay these little putters. Well, I mean, a golf ball can beat it out on some of them I've seen.
Yeah, well, I'm looking at a couple of places online. They say white eggs come from white chickens. That's as simple as that.
No.
If it's got a white earlobe or white legs, it's going to make white eggs.
Here's the difference. White chickens try to eat all the food. The brown chickens will share.
Don't eat the last one.
I ever seen. It's the hen knock the rooster out of the way. Move, I got to eat. It's male female kind of thing. That the hen will actually. I've seen them knock the rooster out and even fight them for it. When food goes out on the dish, they'll battle.
That's and that's fun stuff to me. It's interesting.
They will battle, and they got spurs.
We'll take the conversation from there because on line 3, I've got Congresswoman Madeline Z. Bordallo, who has been working over at in Congress to try to ensure, among other things, to try to ensure the sanctity of our ability, culturally or otherwise, to be able to have cockfighting here on Guam.
I thought they got that problem out of the way.
I got to check with her on the status of that. It was originally in one version of the measure, but I think the as-passed version excluded it, and maybe because of people like Madeline that made a big deal about it, and so I don't think it's in there. But it's something that you got to keep an eye on, because every once in a while the guys over at Agriculture try to squeeze that in.
Oh, you bet. I keep my eye out on all of it. I've just been entertained lately with the cuckoos over at the legislature.
Who hasn't?
I mean, you know, they're sitting there with Channel 12. Let's get rid of this. Let's get rid of that.
Yep. Well, they're not trying to get rid of it. They're just trying to take the funding. If you're talking about the Estevez amendments, my understanding is the idea is they're trying to take that money from those places and give it to the Department of Education. So it's not.
Me, though, was B.J. Cruz. I got to get in on this conversation. He was almost to tears about the thought of losing Channel 12. And I'm going, what?
Hey, they're not losing it. I mean, just it's public television, and that means that they've got to go out and get more money from among the donors. That's
fundraisers they have every summer.
they got to double up on them then.
Yep.
I mean, you can't. I'm sorry. I'm a broadcaster for business, for profit, and there's things that we've got to do, and sometimes when the money's not coming in, that means that we got to redouble our efforts to get it in. 9:19, Lady D. I'm going to let you run. I got Madeline Zebradalio.
Have a good day.
I will.
Stay safe and dry.
I appreciate your expertise, my dear. 20 after 9 o'clock in the morning, and a delightful opportunity to spend some time with Congresswoman Madeline Zebradalio back in town. How you doing there?
For half a day. How are you?
You know what? I'm terrific. I hope the rainy conditions and the extra muggy that's going to come from it will not do battle with your hairspray.
Listen, Ray, your intro there before bringing me on. By the way, the ban is excluded. And it will be as long as the mother hen is in Congress. That's,
not to make too fine a point on it, in an election season, it's important that somebody is looking out for us. And that's the whole reason why it's important that we've got a delegate in Washington, D.C., if for no other reason than that, to ensure that, look, if you make a change and that it has an impact on Guam, we're going to want to know about it. And so you saw that there was going to be the possibility that there might be a total federal ban on cockfighting, and so between
territories.
So did they? It was you and who else that took Agriculture to task on that?
Well, the territories all joined me.
Good.
In this effort, and especially Puerto Rico, where 28,000 people were going to lose their jobs because they have cockfighting in all of their villages, and they have a lot of vendors that work around the rings, and they came to see me. So they were a big help as well. But the thing that angered me the most, Ray, was the fact that this was done by a member of the House, and he just threw it in there without any consultation with myself or any of the other representatives from the territories. And that I didn't like.
Huh. Well, is it somebody we know? Do we? But it's been withdrawn now, and I would assume that was because of the efforts of yourself and the other territories.
Well, no, and I think maybe the person was pressured by other games like dog fighting and that kind of thing. And like I pointed out, I said, look, it's regulated on Guam and the other territories, and it's part of our culture. And the fact that really got us was that we were never informed. This just came on without. So I asked the gentleman, I said, how would you like it if we came into your constituency or your district and decided to make changes without any consultation? Exactly. And as I said, sometimes that's one of the reasons why it's important that we have somebody looking out for us in Washington, D.C. There are a number of changes that are being proposed for, say, marijuana regulations and the enforcement of the federal marijuana laws. Is there a thought in your head about how some of those changes in Washington, D.C. will impact Guam? I can't speak to that. It's still early. We've heard the rumblings and so forth. But tonight, I think you're interested in what I'm going to speak about tonight, right? Yes, primarily, yeah, because you've got and I don't know that they have done enough between the administration and the legislature, given the slugfest that they're in right now over the budget. Normally, one or the other or both would make a big deal about the congressional address, and I only saw one ad for it and one notice in the legislative calendar that it's going to be taking place, and I don't want you to have a speech in front of an empty room. Well, thank you, Ray. You've always been such a great friend. Tonight it's going to be at 6:30 at the Guam Congress Building, and it'll be you can watch it live on the legislature's YouTube channel. And some of the topics I'm going to speak to, I'm going to talk about the Trump tax cuts and its effect on Guam and our government here. Another thing people are very interested in are the net negative, the land returns. That's a big item with me as well. I can't go into detail, but if you attend tonight, you'll hear.
It sounds like either something good or something bad is going to happen. And generally, we like to deliver good news. Can I assume that you've managed to wrestle away some more property out of the federal government?
It's going to be good news, I think, but that's as far as I can go.
Fenna, you got me Fenna back. You got my Fenna back.
The military buildup, I'm going to talk in detail about that. Education, the H-2B visa, and the various pieces of legislation like voting rights. Before I got on the plane to come out for this trip, I introduced a bill, and you'd probably be very interested in that as well. And, well, the overarching theme is you'll just have to wait for it. If I tell everything here, there'll be nobody there.
No, and I get it. But like I said, I just wanted to make everybody aware that there is going to be an address by our Congresswoman, Madeline Z. Bordallo, and it's going to be taking place tonight. So if you can wrestle yourself, get away from some of the budget drama, it will take care of itself, unfortunately, probably to the detriment of the taxpayers around here. The good news is that we are going to get some good news from Congresswoman Madeline Z. Bordallo in Washington, D.C. Have you heard from... Mike St. Nicholas has to be there, but do you know if Doris is going to be showing up?
Oh, I don't have any idea. The legislature sends out the invitations to this. You know, it's they're the host and hostesses.
Yeah. Well, but she's not the OPA anymore. She's not the public auditor.
No, that's true. So,
So she'll. You know what that means? That means she's got to sit in the regular chairs instead of the comfortable ones up on the.
Well,
up on the riser.
More than welcome, of course. More than welcome. More people. I enjoy having a big audience.
I know, and I know you like to fight too. I think that's going to be my favorite part. Is just the exchange of the glances that are going to be taking place. A little bit harder for you to run for re-election because you're mostly in Washington D.C. and not necessarily here campaigning.
It is very difficult. You know, I come. Well, I'm going to be here for the whole month, Ray. So. The whole of this month is the prime.
Then why don't let's make a date. You can come in to have the guys bring you into the radio station. Well, you can debrief me if I'm unable to watch the YouTube feed then tonight. Then maybe you can debrief me on what it is that you talked about and some of the other things that we got to do. I got to do a candidate interview with you anyway, so we might as well get that done.
Good. I'd love to come and visit with you again.
Okay. Well, you know where the place is. Don't be shy.
All right. Thank you.
I just could not love you more. I say the same thing to Dennis, Congressman Bordallo. The public auditor. I say the same thing to her. I don't say I couldn't love you more to Mike St. Nicholas. I don't know him well enough, but I'm just saying. I gotta be fair.
Okay.
Gotta be fair with my love, Congressman. I'll see you pretty soon.
Adios.
Adios. And there she goes. I gotta find out who's handling her these days because I used to be able to go to Amanda. And say, Amanda, I need some time with.
No, it's still
Amanda. Is it still?
Yeah, I've been on the phone with her a couple of times,
Okay.
and then John Jr. Calvo,
right?
Yeah, so nice folks.
I don't know. Lately, when I see Amanda, I talk about the campaign trail.
Exactly. Yeah.
Speaking of the campaign trail, there will be a stop scheduled on August the 11th from 1 until 4 at. The Micronesia Mall. It's the one-to-one with the candidates, and I will once again be conducting a live broadcast. It'll be here on The Point, because I don't think they want me on the other radio station now. But anyway, so it'll be here.
I don't know. After this last 6 months, they may very well want you back.
Simulcast? So we'll be broadcasting from 1 until 4, and it is an opportunity in no order. The order is presented. It's almost random, the order that the candidates will come in. So it's not like I'll have all 3 of the congressional candidates in front of me at the same time, or all 3 of the public auditor candidates in front of me at the same time, or all the Democrat senatorials. Whatever the order is, that's how I'm going to take them. And one of the unique things that I think we're going to try to set up, I can't promise it just yet because I haven't tested the equipment, I haven't tested their bandwidth there, but I want to ensure that if I can do the radio side, that I also do the Facebook Live side. for the same reasons that I like doing it now, and that's because we can interact with each other while I'm actually in the middle of these broadcasts. Yeah, and that's the comment. She ain't biting. Yeah, there's a couple of comments about maybe there's more that she could have told me about what she's going to have at the legislature tonight. But I get it. I get it. You know what? Before Madeline was a congressperson, she was in showbiz. We've been in showbiz together for a long time, so she knows all about give just a little bit of information, not enough to give all of it, but enough to make people tune in to hear what's going on. Where am I? 9:29 in the morning. It's the Ray Gibson Show on the Point 93.3. Buddy Tom's on the line. Hey, Tom.
Hi. Good morning.
How far?
Before I get to the subject that I called about, the only thing I have against the cockfighting is that one of these days we're going to have to answer to the man up there. Why are we using one of his creations to fight to the death just for our enjoyment? We're going to have to answer to him for that. But anyway, you guys were talking about the color of eggs, right?
I did.
It has to do with the safety issue. The white eggs, they're when the hens are at the age to start laying eggs, they start feeding them with these layers kind of feed, and it induces them to produce eggs. And when I was interneting this issue, they said that some bloggers were saying that the ingredient that they use for the layers feed, somehow it has a detriment to the human health. But versus brown eggs.
Mm-hmm.
Brown eggs usually come from full-raised chickens that are not being fed with this inducing kind of feed.
So it's different. I think I've read the same thing here this morning. Is that the all eggs are bleached, and the reason is because the standards are so low in the United States, and the bleaching process also removes an outer layer. The cuticle of the egg is removed in the bleaching process, which speeds along, if you will, the process by which the eggs will go bad, which will lead to salmonella, E. coli, etc. All of those things in there. Plus, it's just the way the eggs come out and what it might be sitting in before it gets to the counter and into the box. But the idea, I guess, is that you're right, with the other birds, the brown eggs usually more free range, and usually if they're your chickens, not necessarily the ones in the neighborhood, but your chickens, then you know exactly what you're feeding them, and it should make for a healthier egg.
Exactly. Yeah, that's what the internet was saying. And the full-raised chicken, they usually eat nature's food. Like the worms and the bugs underneath the dirt.
Yeah.
That's why they're always scratching the dirt to find food. So they eat nature, and then they produce eggs from nature.
So I wonder, you think about the way that the world has changed, right? And the way Guam has changed over the years. You remember the time when you were a kid growing up, and if you wanted eggs, you got local eggs. Because that's where you got it. You'd go down to Agate and the place over there in the Telefofo and where you'd raise them over there. Or even the nuns, they used to raise the eggs raise chickens that made eggs for a long time. And it's possible that in this rush to modernization, we've actually got eggs that aren't as good for us as the eggs our parents and grandparents ate back in the day.
You might have something there about the bleaching of the brown eggs, because white eggs, that are bleached, supposedly, if they are bleached, the white eggs, after bleaching, the cell becomes thinner.
Yes.
Maybe that's because of bleaching. I don't know. I did not encounter the bleaching part on the internet. But, sir?
What is it? What is it? I was looking at something, and the internet is sometimes a stupid place, so you can get conflicting information. George, Ireland, I have eaten thousands of eggs and lived, as they are explaining, white eggs come from white chickens. They're not brown eggs bleached white. The real reason that all eggs, white and brown, are bleached in the USA is because of their incredibly low food safety standards. Chicken and seafood must also be washed with chlorine bleach before they're legally saleable in the USA.
Okay, yeah.
That's my lawyer.
Before I let you go.
Okay.
Before I let you go, sir.
Okay, buddy.
Have you guys read? You guys should read the Guam Code annotated, because it is written into the code, the annotated code, that the mayors are responsible to provide gravel and equipment to flatten the field out for rosaries.
That part, it's actually in the law.
All in law. That's all in the law already.
Okay.
So they are budgeted for those because it's really law. So they're gonna have to figure out a way to give that funding, because they're already budgeted for it by the legislature. And you know, unless they need money so bad that they have to cut the budget down, they can reduce the budget for that purpose, but they cannot just eliminate it completely.
Yeah, without repealing.
Yeah. Okay, but I gotta let you go.
All right, I appreciate it. I'll see you pretty soon, Tomas. 888-8255. That again is 888-8255. Love hearing from you, no matter how, whether on the Facebook Live, email at raygibsonshow@gmail.com, or WhatsApp me at 988-5874. That's 988-5874. Audio, video, photos, messages of one kind or another. Love to take them that way. And the beauty of it is, once I've got it in the WhatsApp phone, then I can put it online and on the screens for everybody to see. It's 9:35 on the program. I'll be right back. That's iConnect time. You know, they don't want you to spend any more than you need to for services like mobile phones and internet and even push to talk. They are the practical choice.
More than 40 local companies have partnered with Take Care to bring you some of the best deals across the island through the Take Care Affinity Rewards program. From Spa Bali, Guam Reef and Gabriel's Restaurant to Tango Theaters, Dolce Frutti, and many more. Take Care members can simply present their membership cards at our partner locations to receive a special offer or discount. For a complete listing of Take Care's affinity partners and deals, visit takecareasia.com or check out our Take Care app for all the latest updates.
You know, one of the things I really like about Louis and Josh as well is that they're really down to earth. They're easy to talk to. They're really big supporters with not only small business, but entrepreneurs, and definitely helping out people with the community. Falls in line with what I believe in terms of my business. So it's a perfect fit to be working and supporting with Lou and Josh. They're always looking for change. My suggestion is, if you have an issue or if you have a concern or problem, I guarantee you they have an open door policy. Approach it to them and see what those issues are, and I'm sure they'll give you a response for what your perception is. I would say anybody can quit. Don't be anybody. My name is Ray Chargaroff, and I'm supporting Lou and Josh. I'm in.
I'm Lou Leon Guerrero, and I approve this message.
Paid for by the committee to elect Leon Guerrero Tenorio. Tony Sanford, Treasurer.
The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts of Guam Training every morning on The Ray Gibson Show.
In a world where compromise is a big part of just getting along, where is it that you draw the line and don't budge? I'm Jerry Roberts, and at 7:20 a.m. on The Ray Gibson Show, we'll talk about what you feel is non-negotiable.
You can find daily transcripts of The Extra Point by Jerry Roberts at guamtraining.com. Tune in every weekday morning at 7:20 for The Extra Point with Jerry Roberts on The Ray Gibson Show on 93.3 The Point.
That's funny. I'm looking at the governor's WhatsApp chat, and they're asking Oyal if the ribbon cutting that was scheduled for today at Pakaigui Street in Zonia is still on. And her response is, "It's on like Donkey Kong." Yeah, good job, Oya. Way to go. 9:38 in the morning, Ray Gibson Show, and on Facebook Live right now are images of little white chickens that are gathered around a chicken feeding pot. And that chicken feeding pot is at my friend Roy Gamboa's place, commissioner down Agate Way, and Roy says he's raising about 80 of these. And you know what you can do with chickens? You can eat them. Isn't that something? So if you get hungry and you don't feel like running to the store, you go out to the yard and you catch one that's been pissing you off, and you catch it and you dispatch it, and you pull off the feathers, and then you stick it in a pot. And there you go.
I think I'll just go to KFC.
But here's the thing. Now it's different though, isn't it? The birds that because the birds that we get at the grocery store.
Oh yeah, no, yeah.
Right, they're big, and they've got these huge breasts,
Oh, they're
and
pumped full of steroids.
and they've got something in the legs and the thigh bones in there, and so they look big. But you take one of these that you get from the grocery store, and you put it side by side with a chicken that you raised, and there I think will be remarkable differences between the two.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe it is steroids, and maybe it is maybe some flavor enhancers that they put in there. Roy says they are Delaware. And these are the same as they're the same as the store, but aren't the ones that you get in the store, Roy? Aren't those things pumped with flavor enhancers and steroids from when they were a baby? Because they did the same thing with turkeys,
right?
Because they know that we like turkey breast meat, and so they said, "Here's what we'll do: we'll hormone these things, we'll steroid these things, so they've got these big turkey breasts on them that will make them more attractive to the buyers. You know, it'll have that look that you're looking for on your Thanksgiving plate." But they say now the big problem is they've got the breasts on these growing turkeys so big that they're falling over. You know, girls like that. I'm just saying. But there apparently is this problem at the turkey ranches with these birds falling down.
Yeah, that's not a good thing. Not a good thing. Yeah, a lot of the enhancers you talk about.
I'm
the steroids.
trying not to say anything.
Yeah, I know.
I should,
look,
because it's
seriously.
a talk show, right? I should be careful.
I'm still trying to make friends on this island.
20 away from the top of the hour. So what were you going to say about the birds?
I'm just saying that a lot of it's in their feed, but there are other more invasive methods that they use to pump those birds up. And I just don't eat that stuff anymore, man. I just, no.
You don't?
No.
I don't know that this may irk some people. I don't know. But I don't know if, I get it. There are abuses. I've seen the videos, I've seen the YouTubes, I've seen the Netflix.
Right.
They're supposed to shame me into not wanting to eat pork because the life of an animal that is raised for feeding me is a brief and unhappy life. But I'm not going to stop eating it as a result of that.
No, and I don't either.
I've seen the ones where they talk about, this is the assembly line slaughterhouse for chickens, and what a terrible thing the last few minutes of a chicken's life is as a result of them going through that. But it's not going to make me stop eating fried chicken.
No, life is hard. That's just the way it is.
Yeah.
No, what gets me from eating it is because I don't know what the hell they're putting in it.
Yeah,
they're pumping them full of stuff, and I don't know what they're putting in.
That part, that I'm okay with.
That's the part.
But when we start talking about, we're making this injection here because we want to change the otherwise good characteristic. When Shelley and I were growing up, when we were kids, chickens came. We got our chickens from a lady that raised chickens, and she brought that to Grandma's house. And Grandma would call her up, and back in those days, like 6-digit phone numbers, right? 726570, which incidentally was my grandmother's telephone number.
Nice.
Don't ask how I still remember, right? You can ask this because I love my grandmother. But she would call a lady, and the lady would come over with a big burlap bag that was jiggling because there was chickens in it. And she would take the chickens one by one, and she'd cut their head off. And then pretty soon it's okay. It's stopped moving. So go ahead and bring it to me, and you take the feathers off, and we're going to barbecue that. And that's what we're going to eat. And the other ones, it'd stick in the freezer. My other favorite was she had a connection that brought crabs, and we used to get these big crabs, these big mangrove crabs, and I don't see them too much around here these days. I hope that they still exist, but my recollection is back in the old days. These were big local mangrove crabs that we used to be able to get our hands on, and she would get them live and then stick them in the freezer.
Wow.
Yeah. Which was interesting because you don't die right away as a crab in a freezer.
No, you just go to sleep very, very slowly.
It's a long time because you can go up to them 2-3 days later and try to stick a pencil in their claw, and they grab it. It's still, hey, I'm still here. Take me out if you can. Help me escape. Help me escape. I'll tell you where the ones that taste better are. But that was, I mean, painful, I'm sure, for them. And the idea of eating lobster, you had to throw them into the thing live.
Yeah. Same thing with crab. Life is hard, man.
It's just that way. Somebody's calling in with their recollection, their memory of it. Could you do it? You know, knowing where we are now, 2018. Where does the fish come? Where's the fish come from? It comes from Payless, Ray. Where do chickens come from? They come from Payless. Where do eggs come from? They come in a carton that you buy at Payless. That's where that comes from. But do you have the stomach to be involved in that kind of, I'm going to raise an animal for food? Yeah, that would be tricky, wouldn't it? 888-8255. Interesting goings-ons over at the legislature. They tell me they were able to scramble and find Mr. Byrne over at the Department of Administration, and might have found a clerk or something over at the Department of Revenue and Taxation that they can have to answer questions over at the legislature as they make their way through day number 4 of budget deliberations through there. Brace yourselves. They're gonna be layoffs and furloughs. That's what they're trying to avoid, but there ain't gonna be any avoiding it. And even Les Carlson from the administration says, yeah, you send any plan you want to up here, but there's not enough money to keep things going the way they are. Cuts or no cuts, so prepare for the worst. And maybe even, as Kevin Kerrigan suggested, a conversation that might be going on over there that says may have to change the laws so that we can send out the notices on that a little bit earlier. 9:45. Hey, Carl, how you doing?
Good morning, Ray.
How's a day?
Half a day. Yeah, I was just listening to you and Michael chat a little bit about the animal cruelty thing.
Yeah.
For a few years, this was many years ago, I experimented with being a vegetarian, and I even tried being a vegan for a while, several months.
Oh, you made it several, because I don't know that I don't think I could make a week. Even on the vegetarian thing, I don't think I could make a week, and certainly not on the vegan thing where it's everything with eyes, right? No dairy products.
Well, I did it for health reasons. I've always been, I was a kind of a sickly kid growing up, and I read a lot of stuff. I tend to read a lot, and it sounded great in theory, But the thing is, after several months of going, vegetarian, and then, reading how great vegan was, and then I tried that. I'm serious, Ray. I could barely do a single push-up. And, I thought to myself, something's not right. Something's not working out. But one of the reasons why I called in is you were talking about the animal cruelty issue.
Well, you remind me now. I remember I was dating a girl once upon a time, pretty girl, and she decided that she wanted to go vegetarian for a while. And one of the things I liked about her was she was the same person every day. And then when she went vegetarian, that changed. She became more moody. And I thought, maybe there's deficiencies in your diet that you haven't figured out yet, and that's kind of making you kind of unpleasurable to be around. I'm going to go spend more time at the boardroom tonight because you are not fun to be around now that you're a vegetarian. I'm not saying that happens to everybody or that's one of the risks. I'm just saying that was the case with us. And I took her out and we had steak that night, and she became the happiest person that there ever was.
Yeah, and I think I read an article one time about people going on a clean diet. I mean, ultra clean, and it actually resulted in some serious health problems. So I think I came to the conclusion after many quite a while of experimenting. I arrived at a compromise, and oddly, it was from listening to a vegan or watching a vegan DVD of Forks Over Knives. Mm-hmm. And then one portion of the DVD had talked about a large portion of China that had very little cancer, and it said that the people there were so poor that they couldn't afford a lot of meat. So what they did is they used meat as a condiment. They basically mixed in fish or meat with a lot of rice and a lot of vegetables. And the light kind of went on for me, and I thought, that sounds like kind of a common sense thing.
Mm-hmm.
And I arrived at the conclusion that our problem is not so much in American society, is not so much the problem of meat. The problem is that we're so prosperous that we can afford to eat animal products, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and snacks, and everything. And that's where the problem comes in. The body can't process the sheer volume of rich food. And when I cut back a little bit and I started treating it as kind of a condiment, it really worked all right for me, you know. So that's the conclusion I arrived at. And it's worked okay for me.
Yeah, and so I try to be one of those guys, and I'm not going to ever make a big deal about eating clean, because the second that I do, I will be at somebody's fundraiser, scarfing down a plate of nothing but fried food, right, and washing it back with high fructose corn syrup in my beer and loaded up with carbohydrates. So I'm not going to be that guy, but it is interesting that for what I try to do and for where I am in my age group and where I think I am. Health-wise, I've found that there is something to be said about moderation in many things. So I don't go overboard on meat. In fact, I don't eat a lot of meat generally. And that doesn't mean that I eat a lot of vegetables either. It doesn't mean that I've stopped eating rice. It's just, if it's there, I'll get a little bit for flavor, as they say, and then move on to the next thing. So I think it's the moderation. When I do eat meat, I try to stay with chicken and pork, just cause. If I get my hands on a, I'm not one of those guys that I'd know a really, really good steak if it bit me. And I've had a lot of bad steaks in my life. So I don't know. So for me, that's just kind of where my head is at. And like I said, I was thinking about vegan diets earlier today and vegetarian diets, and then the idea that there's somebody out there that wants to sell brown egg-laying chickens, and there's probably going to be a market for that. I just was wondering if the market was because there's something better for you that comes out of a brown egg-laying chicken, as opposed to buying white eggs in a carton at Payless.
Yeah, that's a little debatable. One of the comments I wanted to leave you with was also the thought about animal cruelty. And I have no problem with people, wanting to go vegan or vegetarian because they want to be, because of the animal cruelty issue. But the thing is, I've always found it a little ironic that if you look at these, these nature documentaries, where it shows animals in their wild environment, many of them show, predators attacking prey. And let me tell you, nature is extremely cruel.
Yes. Yes, it is. Where's the video that I showed the other day of the shark chasing the manta ray practically off the end of the beach?
That's why I said life is hard, man.
And it's harder when you're stupid.
That's right.
Not that I'm for bad living conditions for commercially raised chickens or hogs or whatever, but I mean, nature itself it's a pretty tough gig. It's hard. It really is.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, what's the life? I mean, you're gonna have two different scenarios. One of them is you're an animal that can be eaten by other animals living out in the wild. So God help you at night when the sun goes down and you have to find some place clever to hide so that the creature that eats you cannot find you. And the other one where you're going to live for a couple of years, you're going to get meals every day, and you'll get to cavort around with the other animals. And for the most part, until the very end, you don't have too much to worry about. There's food and pooping and sex, and you don't have to worry about closing your eyes at night and worrying that there's going to be a wolf that's going to come and eat you because you live in a factory. Anyway. Hey, listen, dude, I gotta let you run. I gotta let you run.
Ray, I appreciate it.
No problem. We'll
show.
yeah, well, it's an interesting show today. I don't know. I came in this morning and I thought I don't want to do it all day long on the budget. It's hard enough to follow if you are there and watching it happen in real time. And pretty soon everything starts sounding the same. I love Frank Uggan, but every time Frank Uggan talks, he sounds like he's saying this thing at this particular time with this particular thing, and it takes me a second to follow along. And and then there's some, and you follow along with Shelley's post. There's some people that I'm going, you didn't do your homework before you went in here. You were supposed to read things. It's clear that you didn't read things, and I'm not sure why you opened the microphone to ask a question, because it's a dumb question.
Yeah, very true, which is one thing that brings up a growing concern about the field of candidates for this coming term. It's highly concerning.
Well, meet the candidates, Carl, August the 11th from 1 to 4 over at the Micronesia Mall. We'll spend some time with them, and maybe I'll come up, while I'm doing the interviews, I'll come up with a code, right? So when I have one of these folks in front of me, and I'm thinking, please, God, don't anybody vote for them, I'll tug on my ear, right? But it's possible that after 3 hours of a broadcast like that, I won't have any more ear left.
All right, Ray, I appreciate that. I'll talk to you later.
And if you're a political candidate, I'm not talking about you. And if you'd like to advertise here, 888-8255, or send me an email at raygibsonshow@gmail.com. All right, Carl, I'll see you pretty soon. No, I wasn't talking about you. You're brilliant. You're the smartest one and the best looking one in the pack. Sign here. We'll be right back after these political ads.
Chili's $10 lunch combos. Experience fresh flavors layered in every bite with our pork carnitas tacos, the Cajun chicken pasta, our quesadilla explosion salad, the California flatbread, and so much more. Each entree comes with a fresh house salad, warm soup, or a cup of tasty chili. Chili's $10 lunch combos. Available Monday through Friday from 11 a.m. to 4 p.m. At Chili's, fresh is happening now.
Security Title is honored to join in sponsoring Ray Gibson on The Point. Half a day. I'm Mark Benventi of Santa Rita, and this is where I start my day, listening to the voice of our community and sharing thoughts and issues that affect us all. It all boils down to our people, our land. Protei Igumamo. Protect your home. When purchasing or refinancing your home, remember to call the professionals at Security Title, just like you call Ray Gibson in the morning.
Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959, and they'll continue to be there for you in the years to come. Whether you're looking to get a personal loan for that summer vacation or paying off those long overdue bills, Family Finance has got you covered. Apply for a personal loan from $1,000 up to $3,500 by calling Family Finance in Hagåtña at 475-4545, Upper Tuon 647-5626, or in Dedito 633-4473. Family Finance has been serving the people of Guam since 1959.
I was just thinking about at 9:55 in the morning. This is the Ray Gibson Show, and later on, Bob Klitsky is going to be on the radio about 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Highly interactive and entertaining and informative. That's the way he likes to conduct his program. I'm a little bit more messy in my process, but I think I eventually get around to talking about everything that I wanted to talk about. And as I said, I had gone the other night to Zermaine's fundraiser over at the venue because I like him. And Shelley likes him, and that's important. Oh, Shelley's also mad at me because I didn't tell Carl she said hi. But anyway, so I went there and was goofing off, and I left, and apparently I left a couple of bottles unpaid for. So I went in last night, and it was another fundraiser for Tina Rose Muñoz Barnes. And if you were anybody in the running community or you just want to help out somebody else, tonight at Venue is a fundraiser for my dear, dear friend, Marissa David Piroy. And she is suffering from, she's got a tumor in her head. I think it's brain cancer. And so obviously it's a very expensive process to save her life. And there are bills to pay, and there's kids that got to go to school. So they're having a fundraiser over at the Venue tonight. And if you're not doing anything, I'd like to invite you by there and leave a couple of dollars at the door and buy a few raffle tickets and that kind of thing, and do what you can to help her out. But anyway, so I was there last night as well, and ran into some people from the governor's fiscal team, and we talked about everything except the budget. Everything except it was wonderful. It was just, and I liked it because it feels like we've been at odds with each other for a long time, and there have been many grounds for us to disagree with each other on the radio, and me talking out in the clear. And I'm sure that that they've got have mentioned issues amongst themselves and my position on those issues. But it was nice to get together with them because all of them, at one point or another, we've known each other since we were kids. So it was nice to get together with them and do that. And I thought, I'm going to take that I'm going to keep doing it on the radio today. And so maybe tomorrow there will be more by way of sharp-pointed criticism at the legislature because I think what they're all trying to do is pander maybe to the GovGuam vote. None of them want the layoffs. None of them want the furloughs. Can we just do status quo? BJ, please give us the easy way out. Please give us the easy thing to do here at the legislature so that nobody is mad at us, so that taxpayers aren't mad at us, so that the employees of the government of Guam and their families aren't mad at us. Please do, because it's an election year, and some of us want to be a part of the 35th Guam legislature. Some of us don't want to be blamed for wrecking the economy, like the guys over at the governor's office said. And I don't honestly see any way that you can be one or the other. So that's what they're trying to do over there, is they're trying to get into the granular details here and see if there's a way that they can extricate themselves from this mess. And I don't think that they're going to be able to do it this time. And I'm wondering who are going to be the ones that bite the bullet. And you might say, well, Ray, there's amendments that they're floating around over at the legislature, and certainly many of them are voting the way you want them to on that. Yeah, maybe that's what's happening. Maybe that's what's happening. But maybe they're voting that way so that they can appear that they are tough. And then when it's time to pass the bill, they'll vote another way so that they can appear to be on the same side as everybody else. I think you know what I'm trying to say. We've seen it happen before many times over at the legislature. I'm going to vote. I will say no on this one, but I'm going to say yes at the end of the day on the final bill. Really? I got to go now? We're KUSG Agana. Stand by now for Fox News on the Point.
Fighting back. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. The White House says President Trump's tweet calling for an end to the special counsel's probe was just an opinion, not an order.
The president firing off a series of tweets today, again asking, where's the Russian collusion? The president also taking aim at special counsel Robert Mueller's election meddling investigation, tweeting Attorney General Jeff Sessions should stop this rigged witch hunt right now. Some critics calling that an attempt to obstruct. White House spokeswoman Sarah Sanders, though, saying it's an opinion, not a directive.
He'd like to see it come to a conclusion since it's been going on for the better part of a